Because it's out of my mind.
Explosion.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, oh my God, the chat is going absolutely bonkers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another DM and Friends after party hangout. You know, this, we do this every Saturday, and occasionally we bring on big names of the in the industry, and I have a surprise for you guys tonight. I'm really excited to have Allan here, aka Grow Dog. How are you, buddy?
Doing good. Good
to
see you guys again.
Yeah. And of course, we have our co-host tonight, the one and only Chris Gamehole Clark.
That's correct. Well, at least until after October. And then I'll probably be Chris Page Clark, but that's all right.
Will it change? Yeah.
It might well.
Yeah, that's great. Let me see. Who do we have here on the chat? You know, I like to make sure I go through this and before I get way too behind. Von Grifford is here saying that his phone is about ready to go out. Lil Jimison is here. Valmar Cleaver. I feel like Romper Room. Let me see here. Dreg, happy belated birthday again. Mr. Rourke is here. No one of consequence. Greetings all. Let me see. We have Blur in the house.
What's she doing?
Graphics, FX. Matthew Sherwin is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Dino is here. Agile Monk, the one and only, is here. Somebody says Allan Hammett ?
No.
Buster TN. Oh, yes, everybody's here. I love it, you guys. Thank you guys all for being here. I know a lot of us were on Tenkar's show a minute ago and had a fun time over there and rolling over to here. So, yeah, good stuff. Happy Saturday, everyone. Allan, what's been going on, man?
Just the usual life insanity mostly lately. We moved our younger son off to college last weekend. So that's lots of real life stuff occupying what could be time spent doing gaming things, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
no, let me understand really quick. So is that Henry?
That's Henry. Yeah. So Henry's been down at North Texas many years. He's been I don't know, he's been coming down since definitely before COVID. Since he was about, I don't know, 10 or 11 or something like that. So
I've seen him there many times, and the reason why I said that was because I couldn't remember, to be honest with you, but I think you had told me that in chat. But he played in one of my boot heel games at North Texas, and he's a great player. He's a good time. We had a good time there. It was a lot of fun.
He loved it. He had a great time as well. And we're probably buying our tickets for next year very soon, since they're almost getting close to sold out.
Hurry up.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I think they opened up ticket sales a little early. We're talking about North Texas, guys. A little on the early side this time. And man, the trajectory of sales has really kind of done one of these.
It has.
Yeah. So I don't even know what the count is right now.
Last year, they sold out by January of this year, which was the earliest it had sold out ever. And then at this rate, I would be surprised if we weren't sold out for next year by maybe Thanksgiving or Christmas even.
Yeah. Yeah, I jumped on it pretty quick. I usually try to get it very fast, and I'll be like the first 10 or 15. And this year, this is telling of how fast the badge is. When I think I was in the 80s. So, and I was right on it too, which is crazy. So
yeah, the last number I heard was in the 520s are already sold.
Yeah.
Chris, what are they capping it this year at? Was it 650 or was it?
What I remember hearing. There is a certain accuracy question involved with that because, well, I'm getting old, but 650 is what I heard. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were our numbers guy. What the hell?
Well, not those numbers. Those are, Gary's numbers, Gary Oliver's numbers. So, he doesn't share those just with anybody. I mean,
Oh man. So yeah, so you guys all thank you. Wow, the chat is absolutely just on fire. You guys.
Well, you're a fireman. It's okay.
Yeah. Advanced Fantasy Games is here too. Wow, you made it. Good for you. Tonight, I wanted to. I'm really glad to have you on, Alan. I know I've been kind of, it goes fast. I know we were talking about doing something a month or so ago, and life is summer. Things, family stuff, projects. So really glad that you're here tonight. I wanted to. It's good to connect again. I love seeing you at North Texas, even though I think this last one was
we didn't get to see each other much this year. Yeah.
I feel like we said maybe 5 words to each other, at the con. But
please get away from my table. No.
Yeah, he's like, put that book down. You're a book bender. Yeah. It's a running joke here. I treat my DMG really bad. I think it's just because it's well loved. How did
my Henry actually had no idea what the DMG cover looked like, because I've had mine in a Cthulhu dragon skin since about 1989 or 90, and he's like, Dad, what's that other book with this Ifrit on the cover? I'm like, that's DMG. So he didn't know.
The one that I beat up and is been well known on this channel here is I don't know, this is I don't know what print this is, an 8th print copy. It's actually, I got Mike Carr to sign it like in GaryCon a long time ago. But this thing's about ready to fall apart. But I don't even remember what year these covers came out. This had to have been 82, 83.
The Easley covers. Yeah, it was right around. It was after the Monster Manual 2 came out, so around 83, 84. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it was right before. I want to say it was right before it was before UA came out.
Yeah,
this is a 10th printing from '93. So
let me see.
Mine doesn't look bad at all because it's too new a printing. I never use it.
Well, but that's 2E too. So that's the free, and then it came to this, and then that was. And they had a couple covers, I think, for 2nd edition too. They had the black version, I think, where they kind of
absolutely.
Anything that's not brown just doesn't look right.
Yeah. Angelo's mistreatment. It says right here, Buster T. And here we go. All the mistreatment. Angelo's mistreatment of the DMG made me recently pay too much for another one on eBay. Jesus. Oh my goodness.
Is it really ever too much?
I don't know.
You definitely can't buy 1 ebooks for like $5 or $6 at used bookstores anymore. So that's really a bummer. Yeah. When I would go out to California for work, when I was still working in Silicon Valley, I'd hit all the bookstores in the San Jose area, and I don't know, probably like 6 or 7 visits out of 10, I'd be able to come home with a player's handbook or a monster manual or a DMG in decent shape for $5, $7, and that's not the case anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah.
In 1980, we actually found them on sale at a Salvation Army, brand new $6 hardcovers, monster manuals, player's handbooks, and DMGs, and they had 24 of each of them. So we all bought multiple copies.
Yeah.
Because we figured we'd wear them out, over a few decades, maybe a century, Yeah,
newsflash, guys. This is not my only copy. This is my only copy that I destroyed.
But I think it probably is, So.
Yeah.
The rest of them are here on my shelf.
I get so much grief for how I treat it.
The rest of them are here on my shelf, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple that are on your shelf that are mine, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for that. So Alan, real interesting thing, obviously I want to, we want to talk about Greyhawk and things that, because you're one of the. I'll just go out there and say that you're one of the. I don't know if this is the right term. Chris is going to correct me if it is or not. Probably you will too. You're among the triarchy of Greyhawk gurus that I reach out to if I have a question. You know what I mean? So, so we're hopeful. I want to talk Greyhawk tonight, which we always do on this channel. But
twist my arm.
One thing, and I know that the audience here in the chat, or you guys, by the way, please, if you have any questions for Grow Dog on here, ask them, and I will try to flag them and get to everything that I can. Woo, the chat is nuts. Dreg made a comment here, and I actually talked to Paul Stormberg about this, and he made this comment, and I read this. What do you think the accuracy is of this statement? Both the Moat House and T1 and Castle Greyhawk itself were modeled after the castle and the siege of Bottenberg.
Yeah, it's definitely Castle Greyhawk is, and I would be hard pressed to go against Paul when it comes to anything, for the most part, on historical stuff. So, yeah, but the Siege of Bottenberg book, I don't have one right at hand, but there's one in my office. It's a little teeny digest-sized pamphlet.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They were sold out of a hobby store in North Jersey, and shoot, and I'm totally blanking on the guy's name now who
Danny
did it.
Gilbert, no.
But he ran the hobby store up there. He imported elastilin models for the big castles. He imported in some of the 54 millimeter figures, and was sort of the gateway for bringing that stuff into the hobby in the country in the late 60s and such. And the hobby shop had like railroad stuff and other things too, not just D&D hobby stuff that we think of as normal hobby stuff these days. But yeah, definitely Castle Greyhawk was modeled on that. I don't remember the Moat House being connected to the Siege of Bottenberg Castle too, but like I said, far be it for me to go against Paul on such things.
Well, I specifically asked Paul what he thought about that too, like at AidCon. And by the way, we played some chainmail with 53 millimeter figs. He's all about that. But I asked him about it, and he said he couldn't conclude, because I thought I had read some old AOL transcripts of Gary talking about his influences on that. And he says, well, it was the castle. And when I talked about the Moat House. And so he didn't confirm or deny. I probably should get him back on and really pick his brain about that. But yeah, I guess he would be the one to know. Yeah. Have you ever played in his Moat House game?
Yes, we played I played it at LGDC number 3. So we played, it was me, Rich Franks, and Paul Stormberg's friend who passed away, whose name is escaping me now too. We played against Tim Kask, Rob Kuntz, and John Boback, and Tim cheated.
Oh wow!
he was pacing the table and making off measurements with his feet and stuff. For
I got slapped almost by Paul for pre-measuring and chainmail.
Yeah, but the novices won the day. We were the defenders of the Moat House, so the tide of evil was successful on that day, as I recall. So
wow. Very cool.
So it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I played that there, and I played it one time at GaryCon as well. So.
Yeah. That diorama of the Moat House is amazing. I need to I just literally got a bug in me where I want to build one and put it on my gaming table, which flips over. I'm gonna create a sand table, but man, I'm so stuck on it.
You've seen his Temple of Elemental Evil, which he brought up the last couple of years, right?
Right. Big.
Big.
I have not.
You have not? Oh, well, you
You
definitely
need
want
to
to
send
see
me
that
pictures
then.
of that. Well, it was at a Gary Con because I haven't been since 2019. So.
Oh, okay. Then yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
a
at Gary
Gary Con.
Con in 2023 and at Founders and Legends as well.
Yeah,
that year.
at
Well, I
2020.
want
Oh
to say
man, I'm gonna
23,
have
it's like
to. Yeah, I'll reach out
3
to
banquet
Paul for
tables
pictures and
long.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that
it
would
was
be
huge.
awesome. And he probably does the whole siege on it, right?
They do.
I don't know what he gamed in it. I just got to see the inside. I mean, I'd never seen anything for the Temple of Elemental Evil before we entered it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever. Let me go to the comments real quick. I want to say hi to some people that popped in here. Shellback is here. What's up, buddy? Tabletop Tap Room. Speaking of Tim Casca, there's a comment I want to get to.
Yes. And actually, I need to talk with him about that before you pass it too. So go ahead.
SCAQ2H is here. Jeff H, how you doing? I have some of the old scrubby miniatures, he says. Vog Griffin is Grifford is here. Fugly, what's up, buddy? Poor Orc Child. Trying not to repeat names, but I just Poor Orc Child. SCA MC MLXX11 or II. All you guys are here. UCW Havoc is here. All right, you guys, I love it. Good to see everybody. There was a comment here by Tabletop Tap Room, and he says, "Wait, if that Chris Clark is that Chris Clark from Eldritch Enterprise?"
It is indeed.
The 3 dark sci-fi modules produced by Eldritch were my favorite in particular. Timcast Dark Colony.
There are some copies of that still running around that might just wind up showing up in Dallas at North Texas Con.
Oh, for the maybe for the auction?
Maybe for the auction. I did, for instance, as one of the authors in all 3 books, I did get 6 copies for myself as comp copies for the authors, and 1 or 2 sets of those might wind up in the auction. Yeah.
Is one of those copies mine that you have there? I think too, right? You have one that's
say
mine.
to Angelo in there. I can't remember. If only my memory were better. No.
Oh boy. Question for Allan. All right, so let's do this. And you guys, please, keep an eye on the chat. If you guys see something, like literally tell me, stop, I see something. This one's question for Allan from Jeff H. Have you talked to Rob K lately? Just wondering how his health is.
So I haven't talked to him in person live recently. Probably the last time was when I was on Jay's show with Rob, which would probably be about 9 or 12 months ago, something like that. But he's continuing to remain very active on Twitter, and he's been working a lot on the computer game development project that he's been doing. He also just recently released a new cover for the Return of Robilar, speaking of our Temple of Elemental Evil related things, that has a very interesting picture of Robilar coming in on the Demon Queen Zugatmoy in all her glory.
I think he posted that on Facebook, didn't he?
He did. He did. Yeah. So one thing I haven't learned is whether or not that's just a brand new cover for a PDF edition, or if this signals a new print publishing partner for Rob or not yet. So I'm not sure if that's something that's a new development that maybe is coming about that would be cutting edge news for me. So if anybody in the chat knows, let us know.
Yeah. Another question from Val.
But his health's doing well, as far as I know. He's been very happy ever since he's been in Corsica with Natalie. He's been the happiest I've known him my whole life, and I've known him since I was about 17. So, which is just great to be able to say that he's just been so happy with her.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, good place to be. That's for sure. Valimar, well, real quick, I see Dimitri just popped in. What's up, buddy? David McCauley. Let me see. I think I'm back behind in here. Stephen Clemens just dropped in. What's up, buddy? From the other side of the world. Joseph is here. Blair Blur just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Our Lady Lordship. Wow. Thank you so much. Okay, let me go back. Somebody said Gore. Tabletop says Gore. Okay, real quick. Valmar Cleaver just asked a question for you. He says, Grodog, what is Blackblade offering right now? Is there any way to order without Facebook? I don't use Facebook.
Yeah, you can definitely email us directly. There's a blog post up on my blog that kind of talks about how to do that. But you can email John Hirschberger, who's my business partner at Blackblade. His email is tacojohndm@yahoo.com. And it's TACOJOHN, like dungeon, M like master, @yahoo.com. So,
do you want to throw it in the private chat, and I'll throw it into our the stream?
Sure.
For everybody? Okay.
Find that. And,
good stuff.
Yeah, it's we haven't had a website since before COVID, which is sort of a telling issue. But you know, what can you do?
Yeah. I see you're typing that in there. Jimison, just thank you, Jimison, for gifting 5 memberships to a bunch of people here. Thank you so much, dude. And you know, you guys, God bless. Thank you so much. And I'll just say if there's, you know, you guys, I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you want, if you choose to become a member of the channel, that's one great way to support, you know, DM and friends. And those of you guys that are, thank you so much. And those of you guys that have been gifted, welcome. 100%. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. Okay, here's the email address. It's yeah, exactly what you said. tacojohndm@yahoo.com.
Yeah, and I just popped in the blog post
there
that talks about how to order too.
Oh, good. Okay, let me put that in there too. Yeah, so before any more questions come in, I don't know why it went in there twice. That was weird. Here's the blog post that he's talking about, you guys. It's in the chat, and I'll put it in the show notes for anybody watching again. And then this is the email he was talking about. It's in the chat, y'all.
And it's also included on the blog post. And if anybody loses track, you can always ping me on Facebook or message us on Facebook. I know somebody said they weren't using Facebook, which I understand completely as well. So
yeah.
That's the poison we've stuck with so far.
You know, dude, I talk to so many people on Facebook. It's just easy. Yeah. The Facebook Messenger is so, you know, I mean,
it is.
Yeah. You know, we've had how long? I mean, think about it. Let's think about how long have we had Facebook accounts?
Well, because it replaced MySpace.
Yeah. Did you have a MySpace account?
I never did. When Facebook came around, I went, now this looks like it's worthwhile. Yeah. So I actually got a Facebook account pretty early, but.
Oh my goodness. Joseph Lord gifted another 5 members. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate you, buddy. It's so convenient for me. I mean, literally, that's how you and I talk. Well, that's how both of you and I.
And what amazes me is, for instance, even on Discord, right? You can only attach like a picture of your new, book cover if it's 25 megs or less, but not Facebook. You can go 100 megs on Facebook. You don't have to small it down. You can actually just post your 300 advertising copy up there, 300 DPI advertising copy up there, and it takes it.
Yeah, John D. Retired says giving up Facebook was the best choice. I've thought about so many times where because I used to be a big doom scroller, right, for Facebook, and I still kind of am, but it used to consume me, and other things consume me now. Drag, I see your question. I'll bring it up. And the thing is I don't even know what I was talking about. But
Facebook doom scrolling. Yeah,
it's such a communication channel for me.
I pulled it off my phone, so I don't have Facebook on my phone anymore. So when I go to it, I just go to it on the web now. So.
That's one thing I've done too. Is I turn off the notifications on it. Yeah, that's his phone. He doesn't have a phone. He's got to sit on his computer. That's why every certain time of the day, I'll get a big blast of Discord stuff, Facebook responses from Chris. It's literally like clockwork once a day because he's got to go to his computer to do it.
Yeah.
But rumor has it MySpace is returning. Yeah, that's what I heard. I saw a post on it. I don't know if it was a real one, but social media is a huge time sink. You know what I do is I don't know. I probably shouldn't.
You gotta put the advertising in somewhere though. You have to.
Yeah.
So
ladies and gentlemen, look who's in the house. Anna Meyer.
Holy cow.
Hey, she says hello.
We're now worthy.
Thanks for jumping on, Anna. By the way, I'm going to reach out to you soon because I'm going to be in LA shortly for a con, and I know we were going to try the game or something. So anyway, and I'll be seeing a bunch of you guys there too, which is really fun. Valmar Cleaver, Chris Carlton, and whoever else is in LA. Let's all get together. Strategic Con Labor Day weekend is when I'll be out there hanging out.
Did everybody want to buy beers for Angelo here? Yeah, I mean, no.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I'm drinking tonight. Look at this. Does anybody have this? Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar
It's pink.
Strawberries and cream. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, don't drink things that are pink. Okay, it's not good for you.
It's not good. It's not good for my image.
That's not good for your image.
What?
I mean, the rest of us think of you as the Marlboro Man, for God's sake. So,
Yeah. Did
firefighter type?
I used to smoke Marlboro Reds. That was my thing.
I'm sorry.
Did you ever smoke, Allan?
No. One of my friends at Penn State when I was there as an undergrad ran a tobacco shop. So for a very brief time, I flirted with the idea of a pipe. But I love the smell of the really cool tobacco shop and stuff, but never took off for me.
Yeah. I've switched all over the place, and now I'm doing this too. And I got to give this whole vape thing up. I don't know why I took the habit of it, but I stopped smoking years ago. And,
well, you can't start a forest fire by flicking your vape.
That's true. That's true.
Or maybe that's why you went vaping. I don't know.
Yeah. Agile Monk just gifted gifted some 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Agile.
Yes.
Love you, buddy. And just wanted to show you this, man. You know what this is. Yeah. So, talk about that soon. Yes, we will. And I'll message you on Discord. Definitely. My goodness, the chat's going nuts. Yeah. Deacon 9994 says just barbecue. Okay. I like it. Tabletop Tapper says I smoked pipe, never cigarettes, and one day I asked myself, what the hell am I doing?
My downfall was discovering that if you're out drinking and you smoke cigarettes, you get drunk faster.
Yeah.
Which is true, by the way. But it's a horrible reason to start smoking, for God's sakes. Save your money. I'd have a Ferrari if I didn't smoke.
Well, I don't. That's amazing. I mean, aren't cigarettes like 10, 11, 12 pack, $12 a pack right now?
No, well, I'm smoking really cheesy bargain basement cigarettes just because they're cheap, and I'm trying to quit anyway. So, why pay for something that actually tastes good? Yeah.
Question for the panel from Dreg. Before I forget, let me see. Yeah, this is the question here. He says, is Greyhawk lost? And even if not, how do we get it back on track? Well, that's a touchy subject for me.
Well, it is that it's off track too, which we don't know yet.
Yeah, well, you guys all know my opinion on it. I mean,
Yeah.
are you comfortable talking about something like that, Allan?
No.
Grow Dog, how do you feeling about the new? I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, I haven't read DMG Greyhawk in great detail. I've read the fan rebuttal to it, so I have some context on it from that point of view. But I don't have a 5.5 DMG, so I haven't read it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, the things that the publisher for Greyhawk, whether that's been TSR or Wizards of the Coast or the Hasbro era of Wizards of the Coast, many of them have not been the most Greyhawky things on the planet. And I've certainly been a victim of marketing for Greyhawk a few times when I've bought some 5e books previously. So, I don't know that it's lost as long as it's still in the hands of the fans,
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. Now I've, man, God, should I go down this rabbit hole? I mean, I don't understand, but I do understand what in the DMG, what was released a couple years back, like that to me. By the way, My Ear Trumpet, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you gifting that membership to Gecko Kuko 76. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I don't understand like the changing of the canon. You know what I mean? To me it came on as let's try to erase some things, which I don't understand why why Wizards needed to go down that route. That's how I took it as being a lover of Greyhawk. But I will say this. We have so much content, fan content, community content, that Greyhawk will never die for old school Greyhawk. Now, new school, if there's a separation there or whatever, I know there's a huge crowd that will stick with what we have and just support people like you that are actually making content. Even just pulling, like I pulled stuff from your blog, things that you've, you know what I mean, like used ideas that you had, not published work, but ideas. You know what I mean? Like, that's Greyhawk to me. You know what I mean? That's Greyhawk going on Cannon Fire or Greyhawk Online or Grow Dog's blog. You know what I mean?
Like, or the Orth Journal or Visions of Greyhawk or Sam Weiss's stuff and Greyhawk Online
Rob
Wiki
stuff.
for Rob stuff, Carlos's stuff. It's all great work that's done by the fans. That's way better.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you said it and I didn't have to say that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like Rob, I'm very interested in what Rob is doing with what he announced too, which is really cool. Very, very interested in that. There's just so much stuff, so I don't think it's ever going to die, but I think that it kind of took a turn to really. It's going to be tough to get the old school Greyhawk crowd back. So
yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of over promising and under delivering ever since really the retirement of living Greyhawk. Paizo was able to do some really nice work in Paizo Hawk era stuff, and there's some nice stuff in the Ghosts of Saltmarsh book that you can use in a campaign that regardless of what edition you're playing. But a lot of the rest of it has been, kind of much more marketing fluff than actual Greyhawk content.
And that's the interesting thing too, and I'm trying to really kind of get that going on this channel where I talk about like just right here, this box set, right? That we all love and grew up with. And by the way, let me just for, God, it smells so good. The box, it can be used in, if you want to use it in GURPS, go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer first edition, right? So other people will for second, or OD&D or fifth, if that, but you can use it anywhere, and that's really the beauty part of it, and yeah. Anyways, yeah, we'll see. I'm not as optimistic as some. I'm not as but yeah, we'll see what happens.
There's some really good people involved with some of the 5e related projects. So I have faith in some of the fans that are doing work in there to help definitely make it more authentic and true to the setting that we all know and love. So I'm being cautiously optimistic on some of those fronts. Others, it's very much a wait and see what happens.
I'm still just amazed at the folks that are missing from the crew. And I've been told, well, you can't design adventures and source material with a committee, Chris. Yeah, you really can. Sorry, but you really can. And, why would you not want the best voices involved? I don't know.
Yeah, but the Greyhawk 98 really was almost a committee in many ways.
Yeah.
It was like a committee of the top fans, along with some of the dedicated editors and champions for the setting inside Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. But I'm gonna do wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, even with the recent announcement of the whole thing that the internet went nuts about Dark Sun, which I never really got into. Did you ever get into Dark Sun, Allan?
No, I wasn't really playing D&D much in the 90s. I was playing a lot of other games that weren't D&D at all. I didn't play second edition. I have one or two books from second edition. I was morally offended by the things they did by taking out assassins from the game and things like that. So the opposite of what they were trying to do by appealing to the moral majority. The stripping away of demons and all that.
That was kind of the first steps in what's happening to today, to be honest with you. Calling clerics priests and deities, gods, just doing the whole that's interesting. But Dark Sun, I never got into it too much. I mean, I played a little bit, but the recent announcement where they're like, oh, we're really on board with Dark Sun, but we're having our sensitivity readers go over the material right now, and I'm like, wait a minute. Dark Sun, the setting that literally revolved around cannibalism, slavery, brutality. Like, how are you gonna pull that off, dude? Just make a freaking product, put it out, and if people buy it, they buy it, and if they don't have to buy it.
That's right.
Like, what happened to that? And
they've already got their sensitivity label on all the first edition stuff. They can just slap that on there, and it'll be the same thing. Whatever.
Yeah. It's like telling an artist to, well, you guys know the analogy. It's like telling an artist to, stand upside down while they paint, their masterpiece or something.
Don't use those oils.
You can only use these brushes. Yeah.
Use these crayons because they're much more better for the environment. Oh my god.
Yeah.
If you find my eyes on the floor over there, you roll them back. Yeah.
Allan, when you make your next Greyhawk masterpiece or article in Orth Journal, we want you to write it in crayon and submit it.
Yeah.
Which you probably could do it, right?
I don't know. You can't design maps like this in crayon.
I know. Let me see. Hey, let me see that bad boy. Get over here.
That's very nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
is that? Yeah, that's awesome. Is that the one you featured in your article about Mega Dungeons?
No, this is one that Henry and I were doing after we got COVID last at North Texas. This would have been in 21 or 22. And so we were both sheltering in place in a spare room since we were mutually infected already. And we started doing dungeons design sprints. So this is a two-sided map. There's a whole nother map on the other side.
Oh, I bet. I see. Oh, look at that. I see your little notes there on the back too. What, Chris, what happened there? Let me see that. Let's zoom in.
There you
Everybody screenshot his notes. Yeah.
Yeah. So here you go. So this is the other side. So this is one that we're using potentially for consideration as a map for the 20th anniversary of Osric. For we did the Hyquius Vaults project to release that as a free anniversary edition game for Osric, and we're thinking through a 2027 release for something for Osric's 20th anniversary. And so far, the folks at Knights and Knaves are kind of leaning toward maybe using this map. We'll see. So
yeah, that's awesome.
If not,
dude.
we'll come up with something else. So, but crayon's a little limiting sometimes.
I mean, that's a weird analogy, but I'm just and I don't want to beat a dead horse here about it, but it's just kind of weird, kind of weird to me, and that's why I'm just like, I'm just gonna continue doing what we're doing and having fun and see what happens.
Yeah, when Wizards started doing all these changes to the setting, and we first started hearing about the fact that the Gazetteer was going to be in there in the 2024 release of the DMG and stuff.
Yeah,
I ended up writing a poem based on Tolkien's poem that Bilbo wrote for Aragorn about Greyhawk, and I haven't done a whole lot with it yet, but I'll go ahead and read it, and it's at least food for thought, I guess. So it's not real long. So, and it'll sound very familiar to those of you, of course, who know the Lord of the Rings. So, all that is old does not wither. Deep lore is not erased without cost. The gold that is strong is fitter to guide wizards who wander as lost. From the ashes, words shall awaken. Fading lands from shadows shall spring. To restore the world that was broken, Greyhawk shall arise to be king.
I love it, dude.
With compliments to Professor Tolkien, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I can't quote it like you did, but one of my favorite quotes is from is a line from The Hobbit, and I've talked about it here on the channel before, but that's awesome, dude. That's
That particular sonnet is why it's called a poetry slam, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let me see. Yeah, we started some comments in the chat. Yeah, I hear you guys. I hear you guys. I'm with y'all. So yeah, you and I were talking a little bit about steering the conversation to Greyhawk, even though we are talking about it. Well, let's keep it. But I'm going to make a little turn. You just recently read Temple of Elemental Evil, the book.
I did indeed, yeah. In fact, I brought my copy too.
Oh wait, I got to flip you around. You're backwards. Hold that up again.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, you were back.
There
Sorry
you go.
about that.
Okay.
Oh, you guys need to flip his map around. If you screenshotted it, it's the other way around. We're good now, though.
But
yeah, what do you think? I mean, you're a big fan of the Central Flyness 576. I know you've taken as far currently with the campaigns I'm running, it's in that timeline 576, right? I just gravitate towards that because that's kind of where things started. It was kind of Gary's way, it was a launching pad. I like that kind of, dark storm in the distance, there's the time of peace, and people can feel it, kind of like when in Lord of the Rings where you could feel the seasons turning. I think there was a line somewhere in the books, but I like that. I like that point in time. Doesn't mean that I haven't gamed in other eras, but So you're a big fan of that kind of that year, that you know, era, I guess is the right term.
I will usually start games in that time frame. I've run other campaigns at other time frames. I've played in campaigns that have been in later 2E and 3E oriented time frames as well. And I've run a historical game set in 175 CY.
Yeah, you and I
for a
were
little
talking
while.
about
So
that. That's
yeah,
pretty awesome. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I like it for the same reasons you're describing. I like the potential to be able to um, pull in material from later eras of publishing and later editions content and use it if it kind of fits the campaign. I'm not somebody like Jay who has run the same contiguous campaign continuously for 40 years. I've run a number of Greyhawk campaigns, but they don't necessarily overlap or all. They're not sequels to each other necessarily.
Yeah. You know, I also like the because I do like, you know, the things that happen in, you know, From the Ashes and you know, the era after. I like kind of creating my own timeline after, you know, after the Gazetteer and you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
states and stops. So that's why I kind of like that, and it's gone in really weird ways. So where at one point Loth invaded the Prime Material plane and took over Berberbonk, and I had a campaign that went 5-6 years with the, you know, with Berberbonk being I don't know what the right word is, but
Invaded.
invaded. Yeah, under, you know, in what's the word where you're being, Chris, help me here. Why am I going blank? Occupied. Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
That's what happens
Hell.
after you invade. But
I
yeah,
get so excited I can't even think.
I can't tell because we can only see it. No, never mind.
But I like making my own timeline after that. That's why I don't kind of gravitate to, you know, towards you know, the Greyhawk Wars and, you know, and what you know, Living Greyhawk, what happened there, which is all awesome material. You know what I mean? But I like making my timeline from then on and just kind of going in a, and you've talked about this a little bit too, where you have your kind of your own alternate universe of you know, Greyhawk. I think we talked about it last time you were on here, where you created.
I like to give my players some free reign in how they kind of really create their characters. So in my current game, Henry had been playing a character from Greyhawk's future who was thrown back into 576 timeline. So he created a whole future Greyhawk for his character that's an alternate, you know, kind of a spoke off the hub central Greyhawk
From the Greyhawk Wars or
variant.
something out of it.
And no, it was all like, no, completely. It was like 200 years in the future. So like, you know, countries that exist that we know didn't even exist by then. And some of the forests had been burned to the ground and things like that.
Totally different map. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, exactly. And then one of the other players has a character that was from 350 CY, 200 years in the past. So they just happened to kind of each bring in a character from a different timeline. So, yeah. All sorts of ways you can hack things and make that work in Greyhawk.
Yeah, you've done a lot of time jumping in World of Greyhawk.
Some, yeah.
A little bit here. I know last time you were on here, you were talking a little bit about it, but yes, Valmer Cleaver, you hit it right on the nose. Squirrel. Yep. I guess that's what happened to my brain. Yeah. Resist, do not. Jesus. But yeah, so to get back to I guess I did squirrel up. Well, it's all your fault, Grow Dog. Yeah, you know, so talking about the Temple of Elemental Evil, I don't know if a lot of people have read this, but this kind of ties directly into the events of Return of Temple of Elemental Evil. What did you think of the novel? What did you think? I haven't read it in years. I mean, I remember what's
Yeah, so
kind
I
of
had not read it at all. So
yeah.
one of the guys who is part of our kind of crew of DMs for GaryCon in North Texas, Dave Temperato, who goes by Diaglo from the Ian World days of folks who may know him. He gave me a stack of the newer novels a couple years ago at
Tomb of
GaryCon. He
Horrors
was getting
and
rid of them.
White Plume
Yeah, and
Mountain.
and
Yeah.
I had read Tomb of Horrors before, and I liked that quite a bit, even though the tomb was such a small portion of the book. It really
Yeah. Yeah.
needed to be a whole nother novel to deal with the tomb part. But I loved what he did all the way. Keith Strom had written that one, leading up into the Tomb of Horrors. But I hadn't read Temple of Elemental Evil. I haven't read any of Root Emerson's books, The Keep on the Borderlands and
I
Against
like
the
that one.
Giants. And I haven't read any of the Justicar novels by Polly Kidd. And so I'm actually reading White Plume Mountain now. That's the one I'm currently reading because I thought it would be interesting to read the Drow novels, which are the sequels to that one in the way the novels are done, at least.
Yeah, because isn't
But
there also the Descent to the Depth?
yeah, exactly.
The Grohe, yeah.
Yeah. And since I've been doing a lot of Drow stuff, I thought, oh well, I'll look and see what Polly did with the Drow things in that storyline. Because I read the Dritz novels last summer, and man, they were terrible.
Yeah, I never got into the Drizzt novels. It's funny.
Yeah.
I want to go back really quick because I don't know why I said. How did you pronounce Drow? You said Drow, right?
I say Drow. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll say Drowick. But when I talk about the Drow, I usually just say Drow.
Yeah, it's so weird because I always say Drow too, and for some reason, just a minute ago, I squirreled and said Dro.
I always say drone.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because your presence kind of.
You're not behind a plow. You'll never get rich digging a ditch. That sort of thing.
Jesus Christ. So, what did you think of the novel? What did you think how they tied in Larenth and all that stuff?
So it was interesting. I wonder how much influence this had. You mentioned Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil. So
Yeah.
I haven't read that in 30 years or whatever since it came out. So I don't really remember that very much. But my vague recollection is there was a Temple of Elemental Evil video game. Now I never played that, but I wonder if there was some things from this that also tie into the video game. Because I remember people talking about there being another tower or other battle scene, which I assumed that's what this was alluding to, where there's the farmhouse that they're in and they all get besieged there and things near the temple. So I kind of thought maybe they were tying in those. But anyway, I thought it brought the setting to life fairly well. I thought they did a good job with the different factions and Iaz kind of against Zugatmoy and the infighting among the different groups. I liked Hedrak. I thought he was pretty well done. So I thought Thomas did a good job with the book.
Yeah. Well, interesting thing. I don't know if you know this, but the release date of this novel is 2001, May. So it's the same year that Return to Temple of Elemental Evil came out. This was in 3rd edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh,
so this kind of pulls into that. Now you have Larenth that remember he was spoiler alert, guys, if you haven't read it. He's chastised by, and I think he's killed by the man that he actually fears, who is actually hit. Well, okay, here we go. One of the things I really love that Gary put in T1 is he referred to Larenth as being one of many, right? So there's a very specific line in the Temple of in Hommlet, and that opens it up. And that's why I say this is one of the best sandbox modules ever, because there's so many tidbits that a DM can run with. What does that mean? Larenth is one of many. Well, that means to me that there's other cells out there doing the same thing that Larenth is doing on a different, whether it could be a larger, smaller scale over here, east, west, north of where Larenth is at, doing the deeds, to, raise the Temple of Elemental Evil again. Right. So,
yeah, I agreed. And that's always one of the things that I loved about T1 was that sort of suggestion of more forces at play, at work, that you just, get glimpses of, the assassins at the end of it. The intro where you're coming up from the Wild Coast, which hints at the bandit activity that they're talking about in the story. So yeah. All great stuff.
Yeah, it really opens up and it gives that, and that's why I love old school modules, because there's always a little tidbit in there that says, it doesn't need to be mapped out for the DM. It's really up to the DM to, oh wow, I can run with this little blurb that this author put in here and make a whole campaign out of it. So the fact that there's other cells just kind of intrigues me. It's like, oh wow, where could these other ones be? But back to what I was kind of, I'm actually going to make a full circle. What I thought was interesting about the novel is they named that, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but who Larenth reported to. And he actually says it in the book. He says, oh my God, he's the only man I fear. I think Larenth says that maybe in the novel or something like that. But he ends up scarring Larenth, and I think he kills him, right? And then what happens is that turns up in Return of Temple of Elm, which I don't like that storyline. Well, doesn't matter if I like it or not, but that's what it is. And I think he's undead, right? He comes back, or
he comes back in the novel as an undead shade wraith spider thing of some sort. And I had no idea actually that it tied into Return to Temple of Elm, because again, I haven't looked at it in 25 years. So
yeah. I'm gonna see if I can bring a picture up in Return. I can't find my copy. It's somewhere over there.
I don't think.
Yeah,
it had a picture of him in the book. It was all tied together.
What's that?
They might have had a picture of him in the book. Let me look. Maybe I'm misremembering that. There weren't a lot of illustrations in this, so maybe I'm.
No. But there is a picture of him in Return to Temple of
Elm. In Return, okay, yeah. This one doesn't have illustrations like the Gord novels did. So.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
I thought it was pretty cool. To kind of see the temple NPCs kind of personified and be able to kind of get it, one person's take on kind of what they were like and how they interacted and machinated and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I can bring this in. Probably not. Here we go. Yeah, there he is.
Oh,
and that's a picture directly from Return. So he's. I don't remember if Return of Temple of Evil actually says he's undead, but they tie in. But you can see with the timeline of when the release of that book was. I don't know if can you guys see this?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, but that book, that novel was meant to go right into, and I don't remember when the video game was released, but went into the 3E Return. Interesting. Yeah.
So it wasn't an SSI computer game.
I don't remember who made it. No. It was definitely a newer game. It was definitely in the WotC era for Greyhawk.
Yeah, I played the heck out of that too. It's oh God, you guys.
Invisibility. Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Oh,
yeah. This was Atari. That's yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was pretty fun when those video games were those RPG, I guess, video games were out at 11. Did you ever play any of the Bard's Tale games back in the day?
Sure.
Yeah. A smidgel. Yeah, my brothers played computer games more than I did as a kid. I haven't played tons and tons of computer games, really. I've not counting like arcade stand-up games, but I really like the Thief series. So that that's really, I really love that. And our older child Ethan got me into playing Fire Emblem Three Houses on our Switch or Wii or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that was probably the closest game I've ever played that's close to the character development progression cycle we do in role-playing games, where the characters actually change over time, they mature, they have relationships that change and things like that. So that was a very interesting experience for me.
There's a whole huge slice of the hobby that is only there, I think, because of Neverwinter Nights. To be honest with you, which
yeah,
I
so
will
this was
confess,
2000. This was 2005.
Neverwinter was a while ago.
That was
I wanna say
before
it was
the
20
Temple,
years.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Temple. This was 2005. So this would have came way after the novel we're talking about. So
Yeah,
4 years later. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, video games, man. Woo.
And Dimitri, yes, I have a copy of Pool of Radiance. Then I even have an old Commodore 64 128 that it plays on. So
what the heck?
With the external spare drive, so you don't have to swap discs. Yeah.
I've got some old Commodore 128 floppies with original stuff I wrote up for D&D that I'm not able to read if I hadn't happened to have printed them out in high school. So
wow.
Allan, when Gary and I were working together, we were working on Mac Classics and swapping the little 3 1/4 discs back and forth all the time. So yeah, I remember the good old days.
yeah. These were the 5 1/4 discs on the Commodore.
Yes, those were the big
the floppies.
Don't drop these because it can lose all its data discs. Yes.
But were they double sided?
They were. Yeah. On the 128 they were.
My mom sent me, gave you go to your mom's house and she hands you a bag of something before you leave, and I open it up and there's a bunch of floppy disks. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with these, Mom? 3 1/4 inch.
And the thing is, they were so fragile. The old 5 1/4. Oh my goodness, yeah. You couldn't throw them across the room. It was a big no.
Dimitri said, "Can you borrow your Commodore?"
We'll see if I like you that way, perhaps. Yeah, I'm sure the Commodore probably has Angelo's name on it. So
yeah, it's probably mine, Dimitri. Yeah. So you'll have to fight me for it.
I got a couple trash 80s sitting in the same closet with it. So.
Yeah. Oh man,
I hate throwing away stuff that works.
Yeah.
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 So what did you think? What did you think of the novel, Angelo? Did you enjoy it?
It's been a minute since I've read it. I did kind of pop back in through it because of the Hommlet series I'm doing. I tied into when I did an episode that was dedicated to Larenth. I did kind of as non-canon. I labeled it as non-canon what happened in this book, because to me canon is everything that's first edition. I don't know. That's just my weirdness. Yeah. I referenced a little bit and read back through a couple chapters. I can appreciate it. Yeah. I like that. There's nothing wrong with fleshing stuff out, because and I can't remember the name of the guy that he reported to that that I was just mentioning.
Making you crazy, isn't it?
It's Hedrax. Hedrax, the high priest.
Yes.
Temple. Yeah.
Hedra CK, I think, or something.
CK or K, I forget.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's an evil priest that is basically one of the tier above him, I guess, if you want to call it.
He's an
really
evil high priest,
high priest, yeah.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that, fleshing that out.
It's a CK, HEDRACK.
RACK. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I can appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I've actually kind of like I was saying, the Keep on the Borderlands one I thought was really good too. I got them all sitting over there. I've read through. I'm trying to think which ones I haven't read through. But yeah, I've kind of liked all of them, and even I wasn't the hugest fan on the Justicar series. I mean, the kind of the in and out of those.
It's not deeply warming for me, leading me in so far. So, but I'm just I'm just
Which
reading
one
it
are
on
you on
Great
right now?
Network. I'm reading just the first one, the White Plume Mountain.
White
one.
Plume
So,
Mountain. Yeah.
yeah. So I just got to the point where he's meeting the little fairy pixie character. So
Yeah. Estella. What's her name? Somebody in the chat will say it. I can't remember.
Estrella or something.
Estrella. Yeah.
I don't know, something.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely gives me a real kind of 3.5 vibe where I don't know. Yeah, which it's not bad, but I mean, I don't know. The story is just kind of yeah.
A ranger running around with a sentient hellhound suit is already a little bit of a red flag for me. But I try to give the people doing novels, they're not running a game. It doesn't have to be conforming to the game. That was definitely one of the things that turned me off to all the Dritz stuff, was all these clerics of LOL throwing around fireballs, lightning bolts, and meteor swarms and stuff like that. So,
well, that's interesting too. Like, what would a ranger? I can't remember what. I mean, here we go with alignment. Here we go, Dimitri. You're talking about alignment. Escala, yes. Would a ranger in classic D&D? I'm just going to say classic D&D. Would they hang out with something like that?
No.
Not in my mind, if it's actually sentient and evil.
Now,
maybe it's sentient, but it's not evil, which seems weird, but whatever.
Yeah. We'll read more and you'll hear more about it. It's pretty.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's a big player in those books.
Maybe it was a food dog that just lost its way.
Yeah, no, it's a hellhound.
Okay. It's just maybe he's just misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Sure.
Misunderstood.
Just like War King Snur, so misunderstood.
Yeah, I mean, the novels are good for entertainment. They're good for ideas. They're good for but do I use them as canon in my games? Probably not necessarily. But I'm also a person that doesn't like Return of Temple Elemental Evil either. So for the various reasons, but yeah. So anyways, and that's why I like starting at 576 and just making my own path moving forward, and pulling ideas from people and stuff like that. And this is a valid way of pulling ideas too. So
yeah. Now, one of the things you were talking about was this idea of the other Lareths that might be out there somewhere. And there's a guy who's got a great Greyhawk oriented old school blog. Occasionally, he's an old school blogger that occasionally does Greyhawk related things, named Timrod, and he's done some really cool research on the T1 Moat House dungeon and the DMG sample dungeon and the wilderness of B2, Keep on the Borderlands. Okay. And they were all written, or from a publishing point of view, they were all being worked on in 1978, 1979.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of interconnections between those. So the descriptions of the wilderness around the Keep on the Borderlands tie into the descriptions of the wilderness around the sample dungeon. And some of the elements in the sample dungeon are very similar to elements that are in the T1 dungeons of the Moat House. So it's got some very interesting sleuthing that's been done on those ways. And coincidentally, I never knew any of that back in the day, but I had used the sample dungeon monastery as another T2 front, like the Moat House, before T2 was published. So it's one that I had always connected back to T1 because I liked the vibe of it and put it to use, I guess,
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And I can see the relationship there. And that's one of the main places where where my mind has gone, like after doing this kind of deep dive into, with the past videos I've been doing, is where would they be? Well, a great place would be is that cave, the B2. Why are all those humanoids, right? In the Caves of Chaos over there. Why are they there? What do they buy the keep for? What what's going on there, and that's why I got.
And why does that Temple of Chaos connect to the Cave of the Unknown? And what's there?
Yeah.
That's one of the things I always loved about Gary's and Rob's work. Is it inspires you to take what they've got and build your own stuff from it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, just enough hooks to inspire you, whether it's that little line about more groups like Lareth, or it's the connection from that B2 Temple of Chaos to Evil Chaos out to the Cave of the Unknown, or the collapsed sections and the dungeons of G1 or whatever.
Yeah. Dimitri says, yeah, the proper amount of amphetamines to finish the series. Okay. Turn your phone sounds off. I keep thinking it's my own phone. Yeah. I keep getting I don't know. Okay, I'll turn my phone off. No, I won't. Sorry, dude. I'm replying to the chat there. Yeah, I think if I ever get Rob on here, which I am talking to him right now, I'm going to ask him that question. If him and Gary ever talked about other places at Larenth, or if you ever talk to him, ask him if other just that one line we're talking about in the T1, if there's any other spots they ever talked about in Greyhawk where there could be cells, if that's the right term.
Yeah, they definitely planned different interconnections, some of which got built upon by later writers, and some of which never got exploited. But like the hints in the World of Greyhawk folio about the Draxengrab Hills having a great evil there, that kind of got turned into the Earth Dragon from the Slavers modules, by later writers and stuff. But Gary had put that reference in there for Rob as a nod to one of his unpublished manuscripts. And I'm trying to remember if that's I think that might be the Veil of the Titans scenario that he had, or it might have been the one. Yeah, let me do a quick look and see, because I've got a blurb about that on Cannon Fire. Let's see.
Yeah, that's what do you think, Chris? Where do you think some other spots in Greyhawk for these cells? Did Gary ever say anything?
Not much. He had planned on, I know, there being an entire criminal cartel, the likes of a mafia,
really?
On the far side of the ocean, though, on just the other side if you follow the bay around. And I'm trying to think of what that area is called, because, of course, my knowledge is not anywhere near yours. But
was that the Bandit Kingdoms one, the Stoink scenarios?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He talked about there being an entire hierarchy with, loose lip sync ships. So if you talk about, the first rule of the hierarchy is you don't talk about the hierarchy.
You don't talk about it. It's kind of like
or you wind up floating in the ocean. Yeah. So and that the pirates were actually not big time players. They were the gatherers. They were the ones who were supposed to be out there getting more and more and more commerce, so to speak, in terms of harvesting slaves for them.
Huh.
And so the pirates were supposedly setting up all these networks. So when you're talking about Larenth being maybe way down that list, all of a sudden, instead of being like a 4th tier guy that works for a 3rd tier guy, he's maybe a 12th tier guy that works for a 11th tier guy. I don't know. Gary had a bunch of grandiose plans. And, oh my God, he would just write. I mean, like 10,000 words a day, that guy would just pound out just because he was bored.
Yeah.
So I found the reference I was thinking of. So the adventure Rob had plotted out with Gary to include for the Draxengrab Hills was an adventure called Lair of the Pit Fiend. And it was in a dungeon adventure that was going to be set in the Draxengrab Mountains. Rob had designed 4 maps for it, lots of notes, and pre-generated PCs. And it specifically was designed as to be the illusion in the folio gazetteer was something would arise in anger if its resting place beneath the hills mountains was disturbed. So that was something that was
right
going to
there in the
be,
palm arch. Yeah.
yeah, that was gonna rise up at some point in the future that unfortunately didn't come to pass. So
Yeah. Yeah, God, I wrote that down. I'm gonna do some googling on that. That's awesome. Yeah, you mentioned the Earth Dragon cult. That's funny that that name came up. Talk a little bit about that, because it's
well, yeah, the slavers are sort of a guilty pleasure for me because I have I love the early tournament adventures for the
oh my
format.
God, I love them.
I went to conventions as a kid playing those scenario, not that specific set of scenarios, but scenarios like that. And A1 was the first module I bought with my own money as a D&D
Really?
nerd, from newspaper routes and lining baseball fields as a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Dave Cook signed that one for me sometime at North Texas, one of the first times he was there. So it's a well beat to hell module.
Yeah. Yeah, my
But
copies. I don't think I have a cover on it anymore. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Imagine that.
but I the stuff that they did with these adventures, I really liked how they tied into and expanded on Greyhawk. I mean, that was always the way I thought the setting should be developed, was through adventures, because of the
Yeah.
examples for like the A series modules, or the S series modules at T1, etc. Um, and so I love I they're great learning tools when you're learning how to play the game and DM games, and you know how to build a breadcrumb trail from A1 to A2 to A3 to A4, and you take that and learn how to build your own campaigns and adventures from there. But the
Yeah.
Earth Dragon I always thought was very cool as an interesting concept and figure. And I love that, that along with the Temple of Elemental Evil cult, they're shams. They're just, fronts that are put there to dupe people into making all their, uh, cultist dreams come true while they're, busy running, slaving rackets or whatever else they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, with the campaign I have going on right now, my whole idea is they're connected. The temple is getting slaves from from the slavers, and they're coming through Nob, and and so that's a direct connection, direct tie. But yeah, I love that. Even just the little the little nuggets of information when you go to that temple out of Highport, for A1, like, the new what it used to be before the sack of
Right, right.
Highport. It used to be a temple of, to a good deity, which, I don't remember. I have an idea who that is. I don't think they ever really kind of say it in the module. Was it
No, because
Ilona?
the articles about the gods of Greyhawk hadn't appeared in Dragon yet, and the box set hadn't
Yeah.
been published yet when those were coming out. So there was no specific Greyhawk deity named for the temple, other than it being now a temple of Grumsh.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Now it's a definitely temple, and I've exploited that being Temple of Grumsh. It's all over Highport. I mean, it would be, right? I mean, totally.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I've totally taken the same idea with the slave trade and the tie to the drow in A2. So that's part of the triangle trade for slave trade in my campaigns. It's they're
yeah, it works
right
so
right
well.
there. Yeah.
It works so well, and you can do hundreds of hooks based on just that idea. You know what I mean?
And slavers are as good as Nazis for bad guys. So you
Oh
go
yeah.
for it. Take them
100%.
down.
Yeah, very, very, very I don't even know what the right word is, but it's such a good bad guy, like you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, there has to be bad guys in D&D. You know,
Especially in Greyhawk.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, so you've that was one of the first modules that you played at cons was the A series, huh?
No, I didn't play that one. I bought that one. I went to my first con when I was 10 years old at Origins in 1980.
Oh, okay, got it.
So yeah, I was one of the little munchkin kids coming into the hobby after the Holmes Basic came out, and all the I learned that the old grognards didn't respect D20s because they thought that we would cheat and color them different number patterns on there. So we had to roll a D10 with a D6 for a control die conventions a lot of the times with older DMs and stuff. Because they're like, I don't trust your D20, kid, punk kid.
Here's a good question from Dreg. Well, he's just kind of a statement. And this is kind of exactly why I don't use A0 if I'm running the series. But yeah, what do you think about that comment? Doesn't A0 starting in Nyrod sort of make it a campaign already, especially as a lead into G&D series? Well, A0, I think, only came out a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
In the anniversary edition where Skip Williams wrote it. Yeah.
It's
so
been
that was a kind of an afterthought, if you ask me.
That's been like what, 13 or 14 years ago now, something like that. It was like 2012, 13.
Yeah, it had to have been. I think it was around the ending of the 4E era.
Yeah, because they had no products that anybody wanted to buy, and they re-released the 1E and 2E books.
Yeah,
maybe even the 3E books. Yeah.
I don't want to get up again because I'm actually lazy right now. Yeah, it's over there.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
What is it? A0, the query of something or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I DM'd A0 a couple of times years ago. It was quite fun. All right, cool. I think the author was Skip Williams on that.
Yeah, that's right.
Tabletop Taproom says that was a great story about the con and D20s. Yeah, I mean,
we had all sorts of condescension when we would go to conventions. So I was, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 years later, I was at a set of conventions up in North Jersey, and it was a high level game. So the characters were like 12, 13 level characters, whatever. And the guy was like, so do you actually know anything about playing a character that level? Are you familiar with the spells? I was like, yeah, I've read the player's handbook, dude.
Yeah, no kidding. Who didn't fall in that in the early 80s, like who didn't fall asleep with the player's handbook and the DMG?
And Gary always used the D20s because his company was giving us those D20s as long as they were the low impact ones that slowly got round as they got older.
Yeah.
Because it was always the uncolored side was always high because it was too hard to read the colored side.
Yeah.
Here's a good kind of, well, this is off topic, but great question. And this is from our buddy Brother Anselm. He says, off topic, but when you order those large fries from McD's, why does it always look like medium fries by the time it gets here? Yeah.
Because it passes through 3 different hands behind the counter, and everybody,
And he says, "What's the adventure hook? Wifey thief skills." I think that's what's happening to you, dude. You need to. We don't use perception in here, but I guess it'd be maybe I would probably, if I was DMing, I'd put a wisdom roll on you to see if you detect.
The augury says that you are probably accurate in your prognostications.
Yes. DM Angelo, module locations in Greyhawk, page 30 in the glossography. Yeah, I know that page pretty intimately. Let's open it up. Good stuff.
Fold the book back.
Of the glossography.
It is a good one. And this is one of the nice things about that list is that it is one of the places where we see some of the early history of the changes in the module codes. So in that list, they list Village of Hommlet as WG1 and the Lost Caverns of Kaslajkanth as WG3, with the Forgotten Temple of Tharsden as WG4, which is fun. And the Greyhawk Castle dungeons for Dungeon Land and Land of the Magic Mirror, GC1 and GC2. So
see, this is why I read my DMG all the time. And it's because of little nuggets like this. I have never noticed that about the Village of Hommlet on page 30 right here. It is mislabeled as WG1. I never realized that until because you always see something different. It's so weird, dude.
Yeah, because so that was supposed to be, presumably that was going to be, WG1, I guess, and then Temple would have been WG2 since it was T2. And then eventually you would go to the Lost Caverns and the Forgotten Temple of Tharsden, which is a much more interesting and reasonable place to go with that set of connections for the adventures. And if you were, kind of stringing together the, T1, T2, A series, and then the GDQ modules. But
Forgotten Temple of Tharsden. Wow. WG1. Holy crap. I am should I get my highlighter and highlight that in my in here, guys? Let me do it.
Yeah, make sure you put it in one of the more pristine copies.
Yeah, actually this is my really good copy. Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, I'll hold. I'll do it in the one that I have. I probably won't remember. But questions here. Let me see. And this is a good one for wisdom check. Yep. Fry tax is a real struggle. Fugly says, fry tax. Question from Dimitri. He says, to anyone who can answer it, why wasn't there a Greyhawk supplement until after Gary was pretty much a lame duck? Why would we? What do you mean by that?
My impression was that they originally left Greyhawk to the side for the what was the gaming group? Oh my goodness, that was just about dead. But the RPGA,
Castle and Crusade. Oh, okay.
That they were going to leave Greyhawk to one side, and it was going to be all for the RPGA modules and to push people to sign up for the RPGA. And for RPGA events at cons, which from a marketing standpoint is pretty smart, but they never did enough with the RPGA. Personal opinion, take it aside.
Yeah, what's your take on that, Allan?
Yeah, I think they had a lot of plans for Greyhawk, and Gary was in the process of bringing a lot more Greyhawk back into TSR after in that 1982 to 1985 timeframe, all the way up until he lost the company. So the Stoink project that fell apart was, from what Rob has told me, he had a mostly complete manuscript on Gary's desk for it when Gary was kicked out of the company, and that thing vanished.
Wasn't he out in LA at the time too? Yes, no.
Gary was out in LA directing a lot of the cartoon stuff, and the company was floundering with all the acquisitions and nepotism being done by the Blooms, and the Greenfield Needlewomen crocheting projects and things like that. And so the box set grew out of the material partially from Dragon magazine articles, like all the God stuff was published in Dragon ahead of time. And then a lot of the stuff from Unearthed Arcana grew out of material from the modules and from Dragon Magazine articles as well, including a lot of the monsters in the Monster Manual too. But a lot of that stuff came from play. So like all those various fungoid monsters that were in Monster Manual 2, like a Basineroid and all the other weird sounding name creatures, they were all created to be part of the minions for Zuggtmoy out of the play testing and development that they were doing. So there was a lot of stuff going with Greyhawk. And we saw certainly some really great modules and stuff come out during that time. But TSR was going through lots of problems. And there was all sorts of challenges in the internal production process. So that's why WG4, the Forgotten Temple of or the Lost Temple of Tharizdun, Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun, sorry. That one was one that they produced outside of TSR's design team. And that part of that was to try to get products out because they were having problems getting them through the internal design process too. So I don't know. I don't know that that's a good answer to the question, truthfully. I don't know that I have any better idea about why it took till 1983 to get the box set out and why we didn't get the castle and the city and all the other glorious things we wanted that were announced.
I'm looking out my back door, looking at a deer getting ready to try to eat my corn. I might have to run.
You're looking at some venison that's still breathing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have an answer for that too. I have my opinions. I mean, after Greyhawk kind of, after 85 when things happened, it did kind of go on. I don't know if that's what Dimitri's talking about, but
that was the one big regret he told me he had, was that when he went out to LA, all of his grandiose plans for RPGA though were just basically thrown in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Nobody picked up the ball when he said, when I let it drop because I had to go out to California, or at least I thought I did.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Real quick, Agile, thanks for the super chat. And yeah, I do want to and let's double click on what you said. Please join No One of Consequence. He has a fantastic and well worth listening to videos. His latest videos I went through 3 times. Wow. That must be really awesome, Agile. 3 times. I will check out that latest video. But there you go. No One. Yes, we love you, buddy. And I'm going to put a link, you guys, to his channel in the chat. Go over there and check out his stuff. That's it right there. Yeah, you guys, let's show our friends support. Go check out his channel, get on there and comment on his latest video that Agile the Monk sent you via the DM and friends. Let's just do 400
everybody.
Yeah, 400 comments on his latest video. Let's do that. There was another comment here. Somebody said something about Tabletop Tap Room. Said, why didn't they do much with the RPGA? Huh.
Well, and again, supposedly from Gary's perspective, I don't know how true this is. Okay, it's just one person's opinion, which was Gary. Was that when he said, I can't do this anymore because I'm going to be in LA, nobody picked up the slack. And there were supposed to be a number of people that were going to come in and pick up the slack, and nobody did, supposedly. Because a lot of the stuff that you guys are talking about, I only heard of secondhand because it was supposedly going to go into the Living Greyhawk stuff. And that the Living Greyhawk stuff would then push it to the populace at large, so to speak.
Sorry, I had to run and go turn a sprinkler on that deer, so...
Poor deer.
Get away from my stuff.
It's so wet.
It's actually rogue corn that they're going after. It's just corn that's fallen in the yard somewhere. Oh, thank you so much.
That's probably.
Is this an amaretto sour?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Rogue corn is usually a sign you have raccoons.
Yeah, this is from bird seed. So
okay.
Yeah, the real corn's in a area in fenced
Okay.
with
Well, and when you've got
a motion sensor and all that.
when you got the corn coming up 3 and 4 and 5 feet away from the fenced area, that's raccoons.
Yeah. Yes. Let me get back to the yes. Fugly says Living Greyhawk was meant to replace the living city of Ravensbluff after they screwed over all Ravensbluff players by selling out the organized play. Gary was already long gone by then.
Well, okay, and yes, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, he just mentioned that he had a bunch of this stuff earmarked for the RPGA, and it never happened.
Yeah, Gary was definitely trying to work with the 3rd edition era RPGA, and they were actually talking at one point about trying to publish the Castle and Castle Dungeons through the RPGA.
Yeah, okay.
So that also fell through at the time. I think in part because the RPGA probably didn't have enough budget to be able to pay he and Rob to do much, truthfully.
That's entirely possible, yeah.
Here's a really cool question, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts on this. Now, Far Speaker DM90 asks, he says, what do your guys take on the god Merlin? Now, I didn't think, was Merlin a god or demigod? Or was he considered a demigod?
Yeah. He was a quasi-deity as an
quasi-deity
to the player who had been playing him, and I'm trying to remember now who that was.
And I think he was what in
it was Don Kay's character, I think. Yeah, he appeared in Dragon 71 and in the box set actually. In the Glassography.
Yeah, I don't know why I said the Rogues Gallery.
But
yeah, he was a quasi deity along with. But I dig him. I don't remember whose character he.
And then he also appears in EX2, the Beyond the Magic Mirror Alice in Wonderland adventure, as an 18th level magic user in there. So a different version of the same character, and that was also an homage to Don Kay. That's where it became kind of specifically was stated by Gary in the afterword about about
and it was kind of insinuated that he did some Boot Hill crossover with his 45s.
Exactly.
So perfectly used those those rules in the back of the DMG to cross over there. It's funny. I'm in the middle of kind of doing a have you ever used gunpowder or any kind of shooting weapon in your games?
Some, when the characters went into modern era scenarios. So
okay, I like it. I want to hear more about it.
There's the City Beyond the Gate adventure from Dragon 100, which had the first Gorge short story in it.
Yeah.
And that the characters can go into that adventure to go raid the British Museum and recover the Mace of St. Cuthbert. So that one had modern character gun related interaction with it, along with obviously the sci-fi stuff from Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. But Ed Greenwood also wrote a couple articles in Dragon. A second volley and something about firearms in D&D.
I think it was reprinted too in one of the Best of Dragons.
Exactly. There were like 2 articles for that, and then there were 1 or 2 other articles about guns options, I think, in D&D. And then Gary had a anecdote in an early issue of Dragon when it was still called The Dragon back in the day.
I think it was for OD&D.
And it was where the characters adventured up into a New York subway from Castle Greyhawk, and kind of came out of the dungeon corridor into the subway tunnels, and then a train was coming, and maybe they ran into a hobo or something, I don't know, and they decided it was too strange and they left. So I've done a little bit of stuff like that. In those same veins in my games from time to time, and I've certainly run City Beyond the Gate at least once or twice.
Here's a question for Chris. He's Tabletop Taproom asks, do you have any unique knowledge of the Star Frontiers from back in the day?
No, not really. Not really.
I love the game.
I mean, we played a couple times.
Yeah.
It was funny. For science fiction, we played Met Alpha because we just liked it a lot better than Star Frontiers. Star Frontiers was a little bit too lost in space for us. Yeah, it was a little bit.
Star Frontiers was tough. Tough when you started because you can't hit anything as a first level,
right?
As an initial character.
But there weren't. How do I want to say? There weren't drippy aliens. Do you know what I mean when I say that? In other words, if you wanted to play an alien,
Chris, do tell. Yeah. What are you talking about, drippy alien?
If you wanted to play an alien, it was never that you were this insect covered in slime, and you were all very pretty, and it was very sanitized. Is how we felt about it at the time, and so we gravitated instead towards Metamorphosis Alpha.
Yeah.
Which we did love after it came out. What was it, 76?
Yeah.
Metamorphosis Alpha,
yeah. I'm a little older than you, Allan, but yeah.
I didn't start playing until 77, but I knew of Metamorphosis Alpha because of the description in the DMG about Gary taking the D&D characters there through the Curse Scroll, which he did back in TD 17.
Yep.
And that was one of the issues that I always wanted to track down as a kid, that eventually I did as a kid. For the Greyhawk content of it, and there's a couple NPC characters and mention and stuff, but there's almost no Greyhawk content in there. It's all about the MA adventure. But
I only ever had like 6 copies of Dragon. That was one of them. And in high school, I loaned it to one of my friends because he wanted to read the Met Alpha segment, and I never got it back.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite covers, and that's the basically the premiere of Warduke on the cover of the issue.
Yeah.
Foogly said, in Star Frontiers, you began as a stormtrooper. That's kind of what it is. You can't hit anything.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Or a paranoia.
I mean, it's so low. It's all D100. You guys remember it's all D100. And I think you start out with, it's I can't remember exactly. It's been a couple years, probably 3 or 4 years since I actually sat with my buddy Eric and his family. His son actually ran us through a campaign. Really fun, but I just remember being like, I was Captain Courageous. It was the name of my character. Of course
you were.
Yeah. But Captain Courageous couldn't hit anything.
So
I know I'm sorry. Go ahead, Allan.
No, go ahead, Chris.
My character was, of course, Captain Obvious at the time. But,
Captain Obvious. Oh, why am I bringing that one up? Whoops.
Yeah, the Tom Moldvay wrote that Ultranus set of trilogy of modules for Star Frontiers. So I've wanted to sit down and go back and look at those again and see what I think of them now, through the lens of looking at Tom's designs and stuff like that, and just see if there's anything that kind of stands out as particularly interesting. I remember there being some weird crystal-oriented creatures that kind of reminded me of Chrismals, but converted to Star Frontiers.
Well, it was fun. We had a good time. We just had a whole lot more fun with Mount Alpha.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, but I was hooked. By 78, I was hooked on Mount Alpha. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I wasn't D&D first editioning. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way, Angelo. Don't hate.
And there might be some Metamorphosis Alpha news coming shortly.
Yes, there might be.
I
have not heard new this week, but yes, there might be.
Robert Santon, I might be able to help you out if you're looking for some dungeon magazines. Reach out to me, email me, and let me know what you're looking for. I got duplicates of a lot of the early ones anyways.
The gunpowder thing is weird too, because when I worked with Gary on the Castle Wolfmoon stuff and he found out I had put blasting powder in there, he about had a conniption fit. You can't put gunpowder in a fantasy campaign. Oh my goodness, okay, but if you cast a spell anywhere near this stuff, it's going off, and okay. So, by the way, little spoiler alert, if you wind up getting involved in the Castle Wolfmoon campaign, if you cast spells anywhere near blasting powder, it goes off. I mean, you got to, when Gary says, if you don't do this, I'm not going to let you put blasting powder in there. Well, okay, that was our compromise.
Well, there you go. You
Yeah.
have to do it.
You have to do it.
Let me see. Yeah, the reason why I brought up the gunpowder thing and shooting, because we talked about Merlin, obviously. I'm in the middle of, I'm a huge Boot Hill fan. Obviously, you guys know that, right? So I'm thinking of ways to, and in this next con, I'm actually going to try to run something where it's think of experience levels in strength, intelligence, wisdom, dex, all that, for Boot Hill, right? So basically AD&D Boot Hill. So how to convert to something like, let me think, because I've used firearms in my games too, not certain aspects. But I came across this and I was like, wait a minute, this is actually a really interesting idea. So I don't know if you guys remember Ravenloft, the Mask of the Red Death, which was, terror in the 1890s, right? Right. Yeah. Well, they have a screen and it talks about the firearms here, and it's all the speed of it, so rate of fire, speed, ranges, and all that stuff. I mean, obviously you can convert it from Boot Hill, but what I thought was interesting is everything's done as damage die is in the D6. And for a firearm, if you roll let's say for a carbine, right? Damage is 2d6 plus 1, right? Obviously range is all in squares, a rate of fire, blah, blah, blah. Speed, you got a weapon speed for this. Interesting. This all gets me going. But for damage, 2d6, if you roll a 6, it's like exploding dice. Okay. You got to know. And that makes sense for something like a firearm. You know what I mean? I know I'm not, a lot of us are not fans of, I've used that system before in my AD&D games. We've all house ruled crazy stuff, exploding dice, but I thought that interesting that's how they do that in that camp. And I'm thinking in my mind, what do you guys think about that?
I use exploding dice in several of my games, actually. So yeah, I like it. Well, the odds aren't great that you get one unless you're, casting magic missiles, in which case, it becomes kind of ridiculous. But, and especially if you're doing die 12s or die 20s of damage, to have exploding dice is great. And it's that 1 in a million shot where, it glanced off his collarbone, went back through his lungs, came out through his brain, and just, did 70 points worth of damage on a 2d6 weapon,
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. What's your take on that, Grohe Dog?
Yeah, a lot of the games I was playing in the 90s, like Vampire, had exploding.
They have that mechanic,
like that. Yeah. And I think if I remember right, that was a Shadowrun mechanic before it was a World of Darkness mechanic too.
I think so, yeah.
I never played Shadowrun, so but I had friends who did. And I think they had exploding dice in Champions too, if I remember right.
In what?
Champions? Maybe.
Oh, Champions. Yeah. I didn't play a lot of Champions.
I didn't play Champions either, but again, one of my friends
and a lot of people didn't play, they just liked designing characters for it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It was a big draw for that game.
Not unlike modern D&D.
There is a question here that specifically for you, Allan. But I do want to do a quick little shout out about the DM Friends. That's this channel. Our little collection of our love for D&D, Greyhawk, and our friends. That's what this channel is about. I do want to say that we're about ready to hit a milestone. I'm literally, I think, about 80 away from hitting 5,000 subs, which blows my mind. Totally just blows my mind. I mean, 100%. I'm very thankful and appreciate it and love all the support that you guys have been. This has been fun.
Congratulations!
It's been a lot of fun. There's nothing more that I like to do. Sit here with other gamers, my buddies, people I consider my friends, and talk about D&D. It just like I love it because it's literally one of the things I think about all the time. And and then I get a chance to, kind of smell my books and that kind of stuff. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because once I hit that once we hit that 5,000 mark, I'm going to do a special live stream, and one lucky person on the stream. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to maybe how Jay Scott does it and says, put, something like, remember, I think he does it like this. He goes drawing, but I'll probably have everybody put in there something like that, like squirrel, to get into the drawing. And then I'm going to give away a copy of the Goodman Games Temple of Elemental Evil, ship it to you. And that'll be that'll be fun. So
you need a bingo cage.
Squeaky wheel.
There you go.
But I'm just saying we're really close for that. I think it's at this rate of how it's been, it'll be sometime next week. We'll do a off the cuff live stream just to kind of celebrate that and hitting that milestone. So thank you guys, and I guess that's a call out. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're watching right now, I see 42 people watching right now. Hit that subscribe button. Kick us over the edge. And then you know what? If you hate me, unsubscribe. It's okay. And
win the TOE first.
Let's get there first.
That's why
I'll blame Chris for why you unsubscribed. Yeah, but anyways, it's gonna be fun. I really appreciate just this journey has been awesome. We've only been doing it since we're coming up on a year. October I think is when this happened. And Allan, I think you were one of my first guests on the show back in the day. December, thank you so much, man. This has been a really fun time. And there's nothing more fun to talk about than gaming and the setting that we love the most, or the settings that we love. I love it, and you get to hear Chris, babble, hear me babble. Yeah. Yeah. So
I did see somebody was asking earlier about some of the Troll Lords Castle Zagig.
I was going to bring that up. You better believe it. That's the one I pinned. You caught me because I almost forgot. Good for you. Great co-pilot / guest / co-host. Thank you so much. By the way, Advanced Fantasy Games just gifted another 5 memberships. Thank you so much, dude. By the way, you guys saw me bring up scan codes a little bit ago, and I'll do that when Allan's answering this next question. But these are Kickstarter's websites, things that I put in my, I don't know what's the right word. Just friends that we that have projects and things and sites and stuff and things that we like to promote here on the channel. And so I'm going to bring those up again. And they're basically just scan the code, go to it, check it out. Like Advanced Fantasy Games is this guy right here, DM Greg. A lot of you guys have seen him on the channel. He's getting ready to launch another Kickstarter for his second module ever, which is I played and read his first one, good old school osric compatible, cool stuff. It's just what we do here in the DM and Friends. You know what I mean? I know we haven't gotten to anything that Grohe Dog has been doing, is doing, which hopefully before we all, pass out, from, we'll get to some of the stuff he's doing right now. Yeah. But, and I promise I'll only be 2 more minutes here. Chris is dying to say something. But anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support. And that's why I bring up these scan codes for, just to spread the word. That's it's really, I want this to be an outlet for, creators and friends to, get the word out on their cool stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's why we do it. Anyways. Oh, okay. I see what you just put in the chat, Mr. Grohe Dog. But yeah, thank you again for the gifted memberships, buddy.
He's a crazy man. He is.
Yeah. Okay, let me go to that question, and I will actually turn the mic over to Allan. Okay. And it's pronounced Grohe. There you goes your question.
Very close. Yeah, so I'm very curious to see what comes from the Castle Zagig project, along with some of these other new projects that are out there, like Luke's project. And then the Wizards just announced a big project on Igwilv, her daughter Jelnza, as a character in something else. So I have a huge love for S4. So hopefully they don't mangle it too much. My hopes aren't super high on that front, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, so I kind of do a wait and see attitude on almost anything like that these days if I don't already know the people involved in the projects and stuff like that. They've done 2 big backer kit programs for Castle Zagig, one last year and then one this year. The one from last year is reprinting all of the material from the Castle Zagig box set, and then the Yigsburg book. And it's not reprinting Rob's adventure because they didn't have rights to do that for his Dark Chateau adventure. But they're then adding in a little bit of new material to the next few dungeon levels after the first one that was published in Castle Zagig the first time.
Which I'm understanding is not Gary's material, right?
So I don't know.
My understanding is it's from his notes. It's not fully written out by Gary, but it is his notes. It's his outlines and things. So it's Gary material in my opinion. Yeah. But that's that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I think we'll see more as they come out. So I haven't supported the first one because I own the whole thing except for the little bit of new material that's in there. And then I didn't back the second one because the first one's not out yet. So I don't know what the quality of the new material looks like yet. So I'm in a wait and see mode. I'm hopeful it'll be cool. It would be nice if it's more than just, maps that we know are authentic and there's actually good content in there too. But
I'm really interested to see what Rob's doing, his announcement and his kind of he's got, dude, if there's anybody out there, man, I don't know. It's just
it's a real shame that the estate and Rob and all the other publishers couldn't get together and kind of really make it possible to work with Gary's notes, guided by Rob and even, Ernie or Jim while they were alive, and get all that put together.
And Paul's got all that stuff there. You know what I mean? It's and Paul is just, oh man, what a great dude he is too. It's a shame, dude.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. And sorry, Chris, you were saying something too, and I didn't mean to talk over you.
Well, the actual conflict comes down.
No. You need to talk over Chris. Okay. Go ahead, dude. We love Chris.
No. The real conflict comes down to 2 people that I'm not going to name. Everybody else was on board to share everything. Seriously. Steve was, I was, everybody wanted to share everything because it was far more important to all of us that the material get out there than it was who gets their slice of the pie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem is money ends up really just
it screws things up. Yep.
It's I'm not going to sit here and name, but we all know a lot of
there were 2 folks that basically brought the whole thing crashing down around everybody's ears. Yes.
Yeah.
And nope, that's as far as I go.
And a lot of slandering of people where people think it was actually somebody else. Well, yeah, so it is what it is.
It wasn't Steve, it wasn't me. Okay.
Well, Chris, you're just a big butthead. So
Steve and I are nice. And there's reasons that if you get any of Gary's late material from the Troll Lords, a lot of it has my authorship on it. We were actually working real well together. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, and before I forget, okay. See, I have some books I can show off too. See, okay.
Wait. Yeah.
The guy that didn't think you should put guns right in your fantasy campaign. Let me see which page it's on. I'm going to fold mine back like somebody else I know. I'm saying because I can do that.
Wait, be easy. Be easy with my copy, dude.
Yeah, what put it in there if you could. I don't know if you can see that. It says "Hand of Destruction."
Yeah.
Put
Let me make it
guns
bigger.
in Legendary Adventure. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. There we go.
Yeah.
See, the Hands of Destruction. Now, wait, it gets better because not only is there the Hand of Destruction, there are differing ammunition crystals. So you can put, you can put hollow points in your non-gun Hand of Destruction. Yeah. So yeah,
Whose
I
idea
saw that.
was
And I
that?
was like,
Whose
you know.
idea was that for the crystals in Castle Wolfman? Was that you or Gary?
Oh no, that's mine. The Power
That was
Stones.
yours?
Yeah, that's from.
That's
God,
from way
that's
back.
from the '78 version.
Yeah.
That's been there forever. Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
had to have a reason for the dwarves to be there. You know how I am about having reasons for things. So
Yeah.
And why would they?
Yeah, Alan, I'm right there with you. Let's just, yeah, it is a shame. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And people aren't getting any younger either. I mean, like somebody just
Right.
wrote in there, Stephen Clemens, you said rest in peace, Ernie, man, part of a huge piece of history and lore about our game is gone. You know what I mean?
Well, and he was doing so good.
What's that?
Ernie. He was doing so well.
Yeah, such a good dude.
Yeah.
Such a good dude.
Yeah. So so I'm hopeful that something good comes out of the Castle Zagig sets of products, and I'll wait and see when they release and see what it looks like, and then I'll pick it up.
And if nothing else, Alan, I hope, in spite of these, I hope to outlive everybody if that doesn't happen, and then it will happen because I won't ask for any money. I'll just release it. There you go. That's for everybody.
Okay, Dimitri, I saw your post here, your chat, and I will bring up Troy Allan. By the way, what's up, buddy? I will bring up his question. Was there any other movement for the Lakofka Archive Gods document at Allan ?
Wow.
Yeah. So if I remember right, we have the Lakofka Archive team. So they released one of the two more recent documents at GaryCon this year, which was one of the other adventures that were written by Len. And then the Gods document, if I remember right, is slated for next year for spring. We'll have to double check with the crew on that, but I think that's right.
Is that the Greyhawk Gods?
Yeah. So Len.
How is that going to be released? How would that be if it's got the IP? Is it coming from Wizards or?
No, it'd just be from the Lakofka archive like everything else.
Yeah, it would just be a free download type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
the deities that Gary published in the box set were the Sul, the Flan, the Oridian, etc. pantheons, and then the common gods, of course, too. But there were a number of them who had never been written up in Dragon. So Leonard had written two other articles, one on the common gods and one on the unknown and whatever the other category was, gods.
You said the Omen and.
Well, no. So they had Flan, they had common, they had unknown, and they had Sul and Oridian. So all of them were published except for the ones that were some of the other common gods and unknown gods. So, for example, we got a write up for Bokob as a common god from Gary in the first set of the deities and demigods in Dragon, and then we didn't get one for Sindor, who's the weird greater lesser god of time and continuity. We got a write up for Celestian, but we didn't get a write up for Alator, the god of ethics and propriety. So Leonard went in and basically finished writing up the rest of those gods as the next set of articles that would have followed the Sul Pantheon gods. So that manuscript was shared with us by the collector who bought it, along with the the manuscript for the adventure that was done this year, and I'm blanking on whichever one that was released recently. So that's like the 5th or 6th thing the Lakofka archive team has released from Leonard's unpublished manuscripts now.
Yeah.
And they're all up on Anna's site. She maintains the Lakofka archive.
Yeah, she does.
So you can go download them. They're free. So this Gods one is, I believe, next in queue, unless another module has ended up moving ahead of it in the queue. And if Anna's still on, she might remember the order maybe better than I'm remembering it right now.
And this QR code will take you to her site, guys, where she's got that archive. You guys can't miss it. Go on there.
And Troy just said it was Embassy to the Pale was the adventure I was blanking on the name of. Thanks.
There you go. Yep. The Embassy to the Pale. Yeah. She's got a great collection over there. So check it out. I think you can get there from her Patreon site. By the way, we all know and love Anna. Just go over there and check out her stuff. She's got the Greyhawk maps that she's always keeping up to date and changing and adding things to, and really good resource. And the archive he's talking about. So, Hopping God of Frogs.
Good old Wastry.
Yeah, that's going to be so. That's coming next year. Final of.
If I'm remembering the order for that right, then I believe that's right. Yeah, but I'll have to double check and see. So I can let you know later.
Yeah, of course. Here we go. Agile Monk just did it. And by the way, you guys, thank you so much for those of you guys who have been doing super chats and gifting tonight. I mean, I'm blown away. Like, seriously, thank you guys so much. And so I guess because you super chatted us, I will give this question to Chris Clark. While he may talk a lot. Oh, it's not a question. Let us remember he is helping keep our history in this hobby alive. And we are
forever and ever. I have saved every file that ever traded hands between myself and anyone I would write with. I have got just gigs of crap on my hard drive. So yeah.
Do you have? Don't you have an Angelo folder on your hard drive?
Sure, I do. Yeah.
Good.
It's got the temple of the god we cannot name because that would be infringement. Yeah.
Oh, the Temple of Grumsh.
The temple of the great grumpy one.
Allan, Chris has been. I wrote an adventure that kind of out of my home campaign called the Temple of Grumsh, right? And it happens in Highport. Is where it is. It's kind of an offshoot of it. And he's like, "Man, you need to publish this. You need to write it." And I have written. It's literally done. I need to send it to Steven to proofread it, edit it. But I don't know. Like I don't want to change. There was you got to change the name.
Everything but scratch your arm. You want to be a publisher.
The Temple of Scratch. The one-eyed orc god, the Temple of Scratch. Yeah.
And the only thing that scared him off was he did a very nice Castle Wolfman contribution, and I had to scrub all of the references out of it because there's no OGL for first edition. And he didn't realize that when he wrote it up, and then he went, "Oh my God, what am I going to do with Temple of Grumsh?" But
dude, because I reference everything out of here. I don't see OGL. I don't know nothing. I don't understand. I don't care.
Just use osric.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
great answer.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get with you, Allan, and talk about it. But yeah, I think I submitted a magic item and I said, see page, 145 of the DMG for the ego of the sword or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't so upset when that happened, but Mars started grabbing her chest, dude. I mean, Allan, you probably know, but my wife's a lawyer. And She was like, "No, don't do it! My God, Chris, don't do it."
Yeah, I'm really, you got no, what, that you won't put that in there in the Castle Wolfman project. How dare you?
No BPs for this, Chris. Yeah.
Agile Monk just said, Allan Grohe, thank you, and you look good, brother.
Well, thanks. Got a
And then
haircut
Dimitri-
today, so it's
and-
the haircut credited.
Which
to
And
one?
then, yeah, and then
wonderful
Dimitri
stylist.
followed up and says, he's a mind flayer. I think he's talking about Chris. I don't know, but mind flayer. What the hell? I mean, I'd like to see a list of things that you cannot use. Like where I've asked about it before. Like, is it somewhere where there's like mind flayers you can't use, like bouleys? I know, or like
Yeah.
There are, I believe, 8 creatures.
Somebody
that you
send
cannot
this
use.
list.
Yeah.
And you're always better off just renaming the character and describing him the way he works anyway.
But that wouldn't sit well with my Greyhawkery. You know what I mean?
Get over it. Build a bridge. You know?
Send it. Yeah, I'm writing notes to Greg right now. Okay. Yeah, I will, Stephen. I'll send it over to you. I got to make a couple adjustments. I'm going to make sure I put a capital G in Grumsh. Yeah.
You sure you don't want the one-eyed grumpy one instead?
The one-eyed grumpy one.
Add a couple umlauts, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We haven't given you any time, really, Allan, to talk about any like kind of projects that I know of a lot of them, and I know of a lot of recent ones, especially the fanzines and Fight On and this, and like what are some things coming out? Like, where can people find you? Where can people?
Yeah,
I mean, your blog is huge.
I'm just the same old stuff on the blog and my website. Nothing particularly super new on either front there. For Black Blade, I've got the Tales of Peril manuscripts basically done for the second edition of that. There's a couple things I need to get added in, but I've gone through and I've re-edited the entire book. It was due to scheduling snafus and the usual publishing stupidity on the part of the publisher. When we went to press the first time, our layout guy had to do a lot of tweaks in the layout at the last minute. So there's some typos and drop text and things that were in the original version of Tales of Peril. So we're going to correct that. We've got some new discoveries and new content that we're adding to it. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get that into print in time for GaryCon this coming year. Maybe even sooner if we're lucky. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I know I said that same thing probably in December of last year, but what can you do? And then other projects, I've got a couple things that are actually done and are just kind of waiting to be published. So I wrote 25,000 words of new Droic magic items, equipment, poisons, and various new spells and such for Visions of Greyhawk, which will be having. They got so much material for that they're doing it in 2 issues that Gary Holian is working on. So I'm hopeful that will be coming out sometime soon for the first issue. Then Gary's intention was to do another issue to sort of cleanse the palette from all the evil of the underworld. And then there'll be a follow-up issue with more Droic underworld good stuff coming out afterward. So that's done and that's coming. And then I've got a piece that was written for Oworth Journal 37. I'm hopeful we will see eventually. And that is an artifact I wrote up called the Book of Eyes. And I've been doing a bunch of editing and development work with other friends on projects. So I mentioned, the big Osric map we're starting to work on for next year. That'll be another free download adventure for Osric's 20th anniversary. And then I've been working with Harrison Higgs, who's a Greyhawk fan, who's been working on this big project for Dalt. So I've been doing some editing and kind of I don't know, for lack of a better word, consulting, I guess, for his project. And it looks very, very cool. And Victor Raymond's also been doing a lot of work for the Techimel Foundation. He's been writing a book called Egg of the World, which is basically the DMG for EPT. And that is going to be a very, very useful book for anyone who plays old school gaming, whether you play EPT or not. It's a great primer on ways to build out a campaign that leverages a lot of city-based play, a lot of faction play, because Techumel has a lot of that kind of baked into the setting in ways that many old school settings didn't foreground the way it is in EPT. So Victor has been working on that book now for probably 4 years, and he's got that basically finished. And so I've helped him with editing and development for that book, and then he's got a series of adventures that are going to be put out with it as well. So I've been working on him with some adventures on that too. So
wow,
it's been a lot of fun.
Busy guy.
Yeah. So at some point in there, I'll eventually get back to working on my own Castle Greyhawk levels and work on getting some of them out into print too.
Mind blown. Chris, I wish you could be as busy as Allan.
I know. Well,
Chris,
this is 10 years, man. I'm telling you.
Chris has a lot more out in print with his name on it than most folks publishing do. So
yes. Yeah.
You can't
Oh my goodness. Well, we are after. Wow, you actually hung out with us for 2+ hours. That's pretty.
There should be a prize for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Dude, Mark can't hang out with me for 2 hours.
Yeah. That's pretty tough. It's a tough. It's a feat, Chris. Yeah.
But that's 3rd edition. Feats. That's 3rd edition.
Oh God. Okay, hang on. I need to do this.
The picture. Yeah. Here we go.
I need to do this. Yeah.
Is this a feet don't fail me now picture?
another Chris joke. Well. Yeah, I'm gonna let's do some wrap up here. I think unless you guys want to go another 2 hours.
No.
I
mean, we can't go home yet.
Allan,
next time we'll do more 2 hours.
Yeah, that's 2 more hours. Yeah, I love getting you on here, man. I love like I said, I just love talking about Greyhawk with you. I just love it all. I really appreciate you. You're a great dude. It's always a pleasure to see you at cons, and chat with you on Facebook. I need to start sending you more of my. I know you're a busy man too, but I might start bombarding you with questions. One question I do have for you is, if I use Osric, can I use Grumsh in Osric?
If you change the name of Grumsh to Grumsh backwards, or Rumsh, or or something.
Grumsh.
Yeah, there you go. Add some umlauts. Osric still doesn't.
Or just write it for 5th, right? Or write it for 5th and put it on DMG. Yeah. Or maybe I just write it and throw it on Cannon Fire. And
is there a way to reach through there and spank you? I don't know.
But there's no harm in referencing Greyhawk, as long
they can
as
actually ask you to cease and desist, even if you're giving it away.
As long as you don't sell it, right?
No, they can ask you to cease and desist even if you're giving it away. They have to then prove that you're harming them. The burden goes on them, but it's possible for them to find harm and make you write them a check. So,
somebody said Garamunch. There we go.
There you go.
That's close.
Harumph.
Garamsh. Garamsh. All right. All right, you guys. Again, you can pronounce it however you want. Yep. Yeah, that's true. You can put it. Yeah, that's true. Well, you guys, I do want to say thank you again, Allan, for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. great to
everything
see
you're
you
doing.
guys again, and thanks for all the fun questions from everybody on the chat. And hopefully we'll be able to do this again sooner than just 9 months or 10 months since the last time.
Yeah, it's all good. We
Live
do it
from
when we
Dallas.
can. We do it when we can. Real quick question for you. Where will we see you at cons coming up? What's your con schedule for the rest of the year?
Me, it's virtual Greyhawk Con, and then I'm
Okay.
off probably until North Texas, unless my job situation changes and I can manage to swing GaryCon.
Got it. We didn't even plug virtual Greyhawk Con. So are you running something there?
I haven't submitted anything yet. I have to decide if I'm going to run another Droic scenario or if I'm going to do some classic modules or something else. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
So I am running the thing we're talking about at virtual Greyhawk Con Friday night.
Temple of Grumsh.
The Temple of Grumsh, that's me. And you know what? And I'm very nervous about this, but I talked with Jay and he's like, dude, just live stream it. And so I'm going to do that here on a live stream, and I'm just hoping that I'm able to pull it off. Yeah, it's going to be a fun little action-packed module. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah,
that's awesome.
I need to start plugging virtual Greyhawk Con and bring up a little, scan code here. But yeah.
It's a 4-day con this year. I think this is the first time it's a 4-day con.
Yeah, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's funny,
Yeah.
I literally get on a plane Saturday morning, like right after I run the game. So yeah, it's gonna be action packed. I'm going to another con. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, this is the 7th year, dude.
Crazy.
Where is it held?
It's virtual. It's
online.
virtual Greyhawk Con. Jay Scott
that would make
started it.
sense.
Yeah. And it's fine. Lord Gasumba, Jay Scott started it 7 years ago, and it's just been I think $5 to get, for your badge. Yep. I don't, and it's just, it's just a con just to get people together virtually, run games and have fun.
And folks, if you get to play with Angelo, one spoiler: don't play the cleric because you'll die.
Don't play the cleric. Well, there's a lot of clerics in that one, so slim chickens. But yeah, anyways, that's coming on. I think it's October 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th or something like that. Yeah, fun stuff. So that's gonna be cool. We'll see you there. So
yeah, it's up soon, and I really want to get my games in soon so that folks have a chance to try to register for them. But let's see, I don't even have it on my phone calendar. How's that possible?
Yeah, virtual Greyhawk Con.
Is it the 1st to the 4th?
It is virtual.
I think it's the 1st to the 4th. Yeah.
Greyhawk Con. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be the 1st to the 4th. Yeah. Yeah, because I leave on the 3rd. My game is on the 2nd, which is a Friday, and I'll put the link here in the chat. Oh, this is for 2025. Okay, that's the wrong year. That doesn't work.
So for $5, I can get into your
virtual Greyhawk Con. I'll put it in the chat for all of us. There it is. All I had to do is change the year. Yeah, good stuff. I've been going to it from the first one. In some capacity, just as a player or just buying a badge and not signing up for anything. But yeah, good stuff, good cause. So all kinds of cool stuff people are running. Yeah, and Jay does his stuff.
There were already 30 or 40 games registered, I think, last week when I looked.
Yeah, it was tough for me to find a spot where I wasn't overlapping somebody else streaming, and right. It was at one point I'm like, I just got to jump on this spot, and he's like, dude, just put it here, So I think my game starts 6 o'clock Eastern on Friday or something. I don't know. Well, I'll start advertising about it. But once yours is up there too, I'll plug you. I think badges open. Badges are open now. Submissions are open, and then you can. I think signups are in like another week, 2 weeks. So you better hurry up, dude.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize they were already sneaking up on me that quickly.
Yeah, October 1st through 4th. Good stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, guys. But anyways, real quick too, just I brought up those QR codes earlier. Advanced Fantasy Games, Pace Setter Games, Plate Mail Games. Fugly's got his awesome coloring book that the Tavern Rogues. We also want to plug and support Pat Kilbane's RPG History.net. Good stuff. We got Ron Mishkers. They just closed their Adventures log. Man, I should be opening these up. So this is Advanced Fantasy Games. We got Pace Setter. They got a live Kickstarter right now. They were just on the show a couple
The
last week.
Boys. Yeah.
Plate Mail Games. My buddy Wes Otis, who does audio loops, which I've used, and they're super awesome. Fugly, who's got the Rogue Tavern Rogues coloring book, which I somehow ended up being in there, which is pretty awesome. Thank you, Fugly. By the way, he's the one that did my logo, and awesome artist.
Very talented.
We got Pat Kilbane, one of my buddies from back in the day. Love that guy. He does some really great stuff with history for our just go on his site. He's got some really cool interviews on there. Ron's Adventures Log, Ron and Chet's. And then we got Agile Monks, Wondrous Dangerous Consortiums, Parallel Dimension Games, the one and only Anna Meyer. And then you guys don't forget, get your badge. North Texas, the best con ever. And tomorrow night, you guys, I'm on with Joe Block. We're going to talk more Greyhawk. I don't know. This has become like a Greyhawk weekend. Tomorrow, our subject is Greyhawk Dragons. We're going to talk about some of the personalities. We're going to talk about Greyhawk Dragon in the Greyhawk Adventures, which I like that. Greyhawk Dragon. Very cool. Very good kind of way of adding to your campaign. But anyways, that's what we're doing tomorrow night.
You should talk to him about his T0 adventure too, if you're still wanting to do that Temple of Elemental theme.
I ran it several times. I think it's one of the best adventures leading into Hommlet. It's amazing.
Very cool.
Uh-oh. Are you getting gum so that your breath doesn't smell like Amaretto Stone Sour or what?
I was going to show you my ripped cover copy of it. I was going to show you guys all my ripped cover copy of it. Here it is.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I think it's a great idea. You get to introduce a lot of the factions. It's just adds to, amazing. Have you ever ran it?
I have not. No. I've heard good things, but I've not ran it.
Yeah, you should check it out. Chris will run it for you.
I've never run that one. I always started right with T1 and Hommlet. Yeah.
It says every weekend is a Greyhawk weekend. All right, you guys, let's get out of here.
Last word. Greyhawk Dragon. Okay. Bird of prey or reptilian fire breather? You decide. There you go.
Yeah, what is your take on that?
I don't know. I've never heard of the Greyhawk Dragon.
Yeah,
I live under a rock. Do you forget this?
But you know about Wolfware.
I think it's in Jim Ward's book, the Greyhawk Adventures.
100%. Yeah, it's a good aligned dragon that is a lover of poetry.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've used them in campaigns where they're kind of well-to-do nobles within city of Greyhawk, and players didn't even know they were a dragon because they polymorph into humans. They kind of have he had a little storefront. Anyways, fun stuff. Tune in tomorrow night and we'll talk about it. What are you looking at? Let me see what you got. Resist, do not squirrel. Yeah. Hey, you guys are the ones that keep talking, not me. All right, you guys, take care, everybody. Good times. We all love you. Thanks for tuning in. What else can we say? I'm going to leave you guys with the song. Here we go.